Okay, now sometimes when you've got a pattern in, let's say you've got a couple samples you want to use. I may have a sample on this SP404. I'll put this one right here in pad 5. And you want to find out what the BPM tempo is. Maybe it's not displaying the right tempo. Well, you hit this pad. Make sure your pad select is off. Next, we're going to hit our BPM button right here. And right now we're going to see edit. Now once you see it come up, you see edit right here, EDT. Next, if you want to check what the BPMs are, we'll turn controller 2. Now we turn to the left, this is the half of the BPM of that sample. We turn it to the right, that's the actual BPM sample. So we understand what that rate is there. So we know what the actual BPM of this particular sample, which is right here, that's at 120. This is important to know when you're actually making a sequence up. You want to make sure your samples will fit a particular time. Now, one thing I do have a problem with, sort of when actually using this feature and changing the speed of the sample, it warps it out. It adds some sort of noise to it. It gives it this quaking feel, and it's not really that good on the SP404, but it could be good for something that you want to have an effect on a particular sample, and you like that effect, you can probably use it at some point. But the original speed it works great at. Generally, that's what I always use my samples at, or I try to sample at a particular speed. That's the original speed that I want to use that sample at. It makes it easier than having to use this changing the BPM of the sample, and you press it down, and you get this little weird sound out of the original sample. Now we're going to discuss and actually do some pattern playing to understand the concept of how to actually play patterns on our SP404. First, we'll select Pattern Select. As you can see, it's lit, and we see PTN in our display. Now, we see the 1 through 12 pads blinking. This means that there are patterns on these pads. And if you want to keep them, you can, or you can press the ones you want to record over. You can always check, I guess by pressing a pattern. We're going to a pattern here, is pressing it. Next one plays next. These are patterns that come with our SP404. These are patterns that come with SP404. And so now, what I want to do here is I'll press pattern select and I'll press record. So now I want to record a pattern. So I'll look for a bank I want to record this. So you see it changed. Here, if I go to bank A, let's turn this off again. Let's cancel this. And cancel that. Go back to pattern. Now here in A, all these patterns are taken up. 1, 2, 3. I have 4 through 12 available in B. These are internal patterns that are on the SP404. I can also put patterns here on my other compact flash card in. So I can select it. If the bank is full, we'll go to the next bank. So right here, back to here in A, we'll press record, and now these patterns are taken up. So there's something on these patterns. That's why it's not lit. I go to B, and there's something on 1, 2, and 3, which you already know. But 4 through 12 are blank. So now I can select the pad I want to select to record a pattern on. I'll select 4 there. And you can see we've got a little sound going on, which is a metronome, which gives us the pace of what we're recording at. And I can press level here, and I can increase the level of that metronome or decrease it down to nothing, or get a level I like for my little click to go by. Now listen to my click go by, which is my metronome. I probably want to set a BPM to make sure I got the right BPM, so I'll press BPM now. As you can see, start, end, level, lights off, BPM's on, and now I can change the BPM. Turning control 2, see? I can go from 40 to 200. You I'm gonna like that BPM right there. If I do, now I'm back and record. Next, I can pick the length of this sequence, this particular pattern. And it's going to be 2 bars or 99 bars or 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. In this case, I'll make it just 2 for the demonstration. See, I'll put that a little bit. You got to be careful when moving your Control 3 knob. Make sure you have the right value selected here on your display. I'm going to do the quantize. Now here quantize is off. That means whenever I hit the pads, it'll go where I hit it at. If I turn this knob here, I can do quarter notes. We can do quarter note 3s, which is quarter note triplets. Eighth notes, these are quantized values, which we call them like subdivisions of any particular distance between the first beat and the second beat. So here we have our little metronome going on. Of course, it's still going on here. I'm going to set it to quarter notes, which is 4 there. See that 4? And I'm going to record a little pattern here on pad 4. Now this is that quantized 4. I'll turn this off. I'll check, press record. It'll do a countdown from 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm on bank 1. See that? So I'm in bank 1. I'm using the sounds in bank 1. See that? I'll turn up some more here. Now what happened there, I'll press stop by pressing cancel, is that the pattern only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was at a quantized value that we had set for this pattern, which was set to 4. Now what I can do here, I can maybe set it to like, this is 4.3, which is like, we call these quarter note triplets. I'll turn quantize off. See that? I'll press cancel. Okay? So here, I'll turn to delete. I want to delete that pattern. I press delete. Now that pattern is deleted. So you see, when you press delete and hit the pattern, it plays the pattern that I want to delete. Then I say, yeah, sure. I press delete. I've deleted that pattern. That's how we get rid of it. So you see that little thing that which is like a quarter note triplet? It's like ba 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 ba. It's like a triplet. So I don't really want to use that in this case. So generally, quantized values that you use select. What most people actually use, I believe, is go to record here. I'll select this one here. I'll go to quantize. And eighth notes are right here. We'll try eighth notes next. I'll press quantize again. I'll press record, start pattern play. 3, 2, 1. See, it cuts them out. Now press cancel stop. I'll press delete. That's the pattern I want to delete. So we can only do limited with the eighth notes. So we went from quarter notes to quarter triplets to eighth notes. And eighth notes act like this. We'll go to pattern play, go to pick this one here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes are like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have a possible 4 beats. It divides them in half. We can only do 8 different spots to put a beat into or put a particular sample on. So we're limited. Now sometimes we'll hear a hi-hat in 8th notes. Let's see here. We're using this pattern right here. That's what I'm going to use to record with. And we'll go to quantize value. Here's 8th notes. I'll press to start. So that's 8th notes. I can't do more than that. I can't go faster. I can't go. See, no matter how many times I hit that pad, it will only record those 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We'll press stop here. So, we don't want to do that. So, let's change the quantize value again. I'll go here to quantize. Next, I'll just go to cancel. I want to probably delete that pattern I just recorded. Delete it. That's gone. And now in pattern still, I want to go to record, and I'll press quantize. First, I made a mistake. Record, pick a pattern first. Then press my quantize button. Now we did 8th notes, 8th note triplets. Similar to that. Now this is a standard. Most rhythms that I hear on the radio today are used at, and 16ths will probably get you in most of your spots. But you've got to practice the quantize with your rhythm, so you understand the rhythm you're playing, whether it matches the quantized value. So what you have to do is set your quantize up, then record your pattern. And you need to use your quantize to correct it, because sometimes you want to hit exactly on. And the quantized value that you set here will correct any mistake you actually make at that particular tempo you're playing your pattern at. Now see, that works there at that particular tempo. Now I can press record again, and now I'm in rehearse. See that? We're in rehearse now. So I can rehearse, pick a pattern, pick a rather what I want to use next. So I say I want to do that. So I'll press record again, and now I'm recording again. See that? Cool. So I'm recording on top of this pattern now. Next, I can go to rehearsal again. So I'll press record. I want to rehearse something. Put that clap in. And I'll press stop. Now I stop my pattern. And now I'm going to go to record. Selecting this pattern right here. Remember, something's already on there. Now I'm going to my quantize value. I did that, what, 16th notes? 8th notes? Those hi-hats? I'm going to do the highest now at 16th notes. And so you can set 16th notes there. And you can select it to go faster or slower. So I'll press record. And we'll hear the hi-hats go by. So I've increased the speed of the hi-hats. They're now at 16th notes. So we got our pattern. Is it here? And my metronome's off. I'm going to turn it back up here. Now sometimes you get a pattern going. And you got a metronome going on. And I'm gonna record over that pattern, we'll say. I don't really want that metronome on. See, I went and turned the metronome off. Now I can still hear what's actually in the pattern, and the metronome won't interfere with what I'm hearing. I may want to add some to this beat. I don't know, I'm going to add something and say, now I'm not even like that. I'm going to erase that part. I'll press delete, and you can pick any pads you want to pick to delete. Hold that pad down during the course as the beat plays. When it gets to the end, see, it's gone. I press delete again. My pads start lighting according to which pads are hit in the sequence at the time they were hit. So we can actually delete any sound we want to delete. I can press here. I don't want to have it hide. It's just annoying to me right now. Over and over again. It's kind of loud and annoying, so I'll get rid of it. I can get out of it here. Now I can hit the sub pad. I gotta rehearse first, actually. See, by hitting that sub pad, it's light. See that? So, hitting the sub pad and then holding down any pad I want puts that pad there also. I can get that effect, do that almost roll thing. Now I can do like this. See, it's easier. I'll turn rehearse off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you hear that? We're almost off there. I'll stop the pattern. Now that doesn't sound right. Now I can go watch this. I'll go back to delete. Matter of fact, I'll just go here. I'll press stop. I'll use pattern. I'll go to pattern now. I'll go to record. I'll select my pattern again. I'll press record. It gives me a counting, but there's no metronome. I turn the metronome off. I'll press delete. And now I'll delete that sound. So I'm going to make sure I'm quantized properly for this particular pattern. I want to get rid of this sound too. Now, I'll press quantize. It's off. I want to go to 16ths. So once you turn your pattern off and you go back to record into the pattern, make sure you go back into the pattern and reset your quantize value. That's very important. That's why we're doing it. So you understand that once you make a pattern, you want to go back into it to make some changes. If you do, the quantize will always be off. So make sure you go back to quantize and reset it to where you want it to be for adding to your pattern. Now next, I'm ready to go. Turn my delete off. I have this sound here and here now, another roll. So now we're set right with the quantized value. I'll press stop. Now we can also change patterns where they are. We can exchange patterns. Take one pattern and say put this pattern here and that one there. Now this is called pattern exchange. I can be in pattern mode here. I'll select two patterns here pretty quickly. These are patterns that come with our machine. Now I'll stop that. I can press record and press delete. Now see here, we're in protect mode. We can't do that in this one. Now that bank A is in protection. So bank A, I try to do delete and record, it goes to just pattern. It can't do anything because it's protected mode. It's protected. This whole section of A is protected. I can go to B though and press delete and press record, and now I can exchange patterns. This is going to be kind of cool. I select the pattern, here. And I want to change it with this one. When I press this, it lights up and it changes them. That pattern's here now. And this pattern is there. So we can exchange where patterns are. Say we got a pattern here, we want to play them in a row. Well, we want to put this pattern over here. We can exchange those patterns so you can have them in the order you want to have them in. Okay, when making up a pattern, sometimes you have a loop, you want to loop to a beat or something, you got a pattern going on. We have our sounds here, of course. Well, the first thing I normally do is I would probably find a sample. That's the one I want to use. Now some sounds are too loud. I'll normally adjust my sounds before I actually start making up my pattern. So I'll probably hit a sound, I'll go to level, edit, and I want to adjust the level of this particular sound. See that? So it's not too far away from this original sound. I want it too loud so I can blend my sounds up with my loop. See that? And so here, I'm going to hit this sound, go to level, adjust my sound right here. See that? That's cool. Then, make sure all my sounds are adjusted properly. I want to use that one. I might want to use that one. Hear my sound. It's not too bad. I can just hear the sound over the sample and adjust it later on if I want to adjust it. I've got my sample. And here's how you would loop, let's say, a sample you already have in the machine. You're not too sure of what the tempo is of that particular sample. Now what I normally do, I'll go to here, hit this, or find my sample first. Just tap my tempo somewhat, you know. Go to BPMs. So here, as you can see, unless my press, it's going to give me this BPM thing, which you don't want to bother with. So what I normally do is I'll go to here to pattern mode. Get ready to start my pattern. I know about where the speed's probably going to be. That's about almost 90. So I go here to BPM. I want my BPM to be about close to 90. It's about 90 BPM, that loop, or 91 we'll say. I'll get my length next. But first I want to pick our pad out. So I'm going to go to record first. That's the pad I want to use. And I want to go to level here and get the level of the metronome first. So if you have it down from a previous time you used it, you won't hear it. You can go back and set it back up again. Once the metronome is set, next thing I want to do is I want to take this loop and put it into the sequence and adjust the tempo of the loop in the sequence so it loops around right. Now, the length is 2 bars. The quantized value. I want the quantized value to be 4/4 because I just want to hit the first beat, and I want to make sure I don't make a mistake and hit it away from the first beat or something. I make sure it's on the first beat, so like hitting a quarter note quantized value, I'm guaranteed when I hit it, even if it's a little bit off, it's always going to go on that first beat. That's good for me. Next, turn that off, and I'm ready to go. 3, 2, 1. So we see here, it's not really looping right? And we have a 91 here for our looping speed. So I'm going to turn this dial here, the second control knob, and try it close to where the loop should be at. Sort of skipping around here. See, it's rushing in there. I'll slow it down some more. That's rushing in a little bit. Too much rush. We'll try 94 here. I like that. So now I'm going to go here to my volume here and turn my metronome off. I don't want to hear that. Now I'm going to rehearsal mode here. We're going to try and put a little snare drum on that, see if it blends in. So you want to see if those sounds will blend a little bit, how far off they'll be from it, whether it's too loud or not. I go to rehearsal mode. I don't want that snare too loud. So I'm pressing delete. Delete's off. I'll rehearse again. Might that sound better? See, it blends a little better. Out of rehearsal. So like blend the sound, see if this work the sound out, see if it'll work for you. You know, see if the quantized value will work. I can even change my quantized value now. I was using the quarter note. Now I want to change the quantized value now to a 16th note maybe. Or like an 8th note I think would be better. Let's try this one right here. Let me rehearse it first. That's good. I like that, it's good. Rehearse this one. No, maybe this one. So that was almost a 16th note quantized. I went ba-boom boom. I went, that's 8th note, but watch this. That's a 16th, I went ba-bop-bop. I don't want that. I want to change the quantized value now. I'm in quantized 8. I'm going to go to 16 here. Now out of rehearsal, and try this pattern here. So you see, I've added some stuff on top of the loop. Now sometimes you may want to even adjust your loop. Say, well, maybe it's coming in too soon. You may want to change the way it comes in a little bit. But you want to make sure that it loops along with the other sounds you want to add to that loop. You get a rehearsal, of course. If I don't like something, I can press delete here. I'm gonna give it a here. Put up the boom boom. Now it just goes boom boom. lights off. Let's see the pads we used already. See, so I'm adding stuff on top of the loop. I'm not trying to get in the way of the loop. A little beat that goes along with the loop a little bit. Out of rehearsal. I can press stop. My pattern is saved. I can press the pattern button. That's kind of cool. Now, if I want to do something, I can say, well, look, I may want to add one more thing. I can go to here to pattern. I'm in pattern. I can do record. I can record on top of that pattern again. My metronome's not going to play because I turned it off already. As you already know from here, the metronome's off. I don't need it. My pattern's got the beat to it. I'm going to go by and I just want to record one more part in. Make sure my length is correct, but the quantize is cut off. So remember that. When you go back into your pattern, you want to record over it again. The quantize value is cut off, so you want to reset it again to the next value you want to use. And in my case, I'm just going to do an eighth note pattern, or add to this eighth note pattern I have here on this one particular part, and do it that way. I want to start. I think I'm ready to go. It's counting down. I don't hear a metronome, but the beat comes in. I think I'll rehearse it. Yeah, here we go. So I added to it. See, I know my quantized value already. Rehearses. Yeah. I can pick any sound I want to pick within the pattern. And I'll press stop. And that's how we can actually add samples on top of a loop. So I took a loop, I added some kick snares, I added a little hi-hat, an open hi-hat, I had a little tom-tom sound, and I had a little hit. It's in pattern mode. We don't want that. Press stop. We add this one, that, and this. And of course the open hi-hat. So it's important to make sure, of course, you saw there, you shouldn't be in pattern mode, turn it off. And then when you want to test the sound, you turn them off. When you go to pattern mode, you're back to hearing your patterns again. And that's how we can record a pattern with a sample loop, adjusting our tempo, and then applying specific samples to the tempo so that falls in line, and also how we quantize. So we applied everything we learned here in our pattern section. Okay, earlier in our video we were showing you how the effects worked in our explaining about the front of our SP404. Now we're going to cover the effects section totally. Now of course we can hit a pad and we can apply this effect to that pad. See that? Of course, we have a cutoff here, and here we can turn the resonance, sort of thins it out somewhat, or back here. You can hear that, right? And we can apply that effect. So we press the pad down, we pick an effect, we can release it, we can hit the pad, apply an effect, give us a delay. Now we can apply these effects to the 6 different effects buttons we have. Filter and drive, pitch, delay, isolator, vinyl simulator for vinyl sim, and FX. MFX. And I can press MFX here, hold it down, and that gives me the first effect. Makes it easier. It gives me 1. And you can see also that the pad 1 lights up. I can hit 2, and this turns to 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it corresponds to our list here of MF effects that we can use. Now, we have 1 through 24. Now, to use the pads to get the effect you want, we can hold down this, the 1 through 12, and hold down vinyl, sim, and MFX, and we get 13. I'll hold them down like this. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 24, right there. Or, while holding MFX down here, on or off, here, we can change the MS effects, and we can apply it to any pad. For example, here I can go to, and I can go to MF effects here. See that? And hold it down, I can find out I'm in 24. So you can find out where your MF effects is at, know which effect is being applied to that particular sound. We can also press MF effects here and turn our control knob. See this here? Hold it down, we can select the effect we want to use. So I want to go to number 2 and use tape echo. That would be it. I may pick this sound here, tape echo. Hear that? Or that has no effect. I may go to MF effects here and apply the tape echo to that. Or I can press MF effects here, go to 4, which is a flanging effect. And now, see, it's only on there. It's only there. So I put the effect here, but it's not there now. So we can apply these effects to that, let's say, and we go to here. So you can apply effects to specific pads. Okay, let's say, for example, we want to apply effects to more than one pad. Here's how I would do it. Got my effect right there. Okay, got my delay selected. I'll make that my current pad. I want to have it there. And now the current pad that has a delay is on. I want to apply it to this pad, and this pad also. So by pressing remain, I've applied the effect to the other patterns, or the other pads rather, that have the selected sounds that I want to use. Now, I think those patterns are right here in this bag here, which is that pattern. See, they all got that same effect on top of them. It's all right here. That's a delay effect. I turn the delay effect off. So we can apply those effects, those patterns. Just remember, just press the delay. I pressed it out of pattern. Go back to here. I want to apply delay to that one. I press remain. It lights up. And now those sounds all have delay. So I can set a delay on more than one pad. I can other pads too. I say, for example, I did that with that pad. I can say, okay, I got this pad here. I want to make this pad have a dry. Go to remain. And now these have it. See that? And now those pads have that particular effect. Okay, let's say, for example, you've got this effect that you want to use on every single sample you got in your machine. And you want to have the same sort of tinge to the timbre of that note, which means the pitch of the note or the feel of that note. We can press remain, and we're going to select it here. And now they all have the same. So every pad in this bank has that same effect. Explain some of these effects buttons. Now here we have the filter and drive effect. Now this changes the cutoff frequency where that effect happens. It's higher here. And here in our resonance, this amplifies that frequency. Either lowers it or heightens it. And control knob 3 adds more distortion to it. See that? More or less distortion to our filter and drive. Next we have our pitch. Now here in pitch, on, off, apply the effect of course. Here I can change the pitch. Change the range within probably 2 octaves, either plus or minus. Here's the original pitch. There's about 2 octaves up. There's 2 octaves down. Now, hit that pitch. What this does here, this repeats the pitch. Feel the feedback? So it repeats that little pitch variance. On here, watch. So it takes that one piece of that, the octave range it's at, and it sort of doubles it. And here, we're actually, that's a direct sound. So this is how the sound would sound with it. That's a direct sound. That's a sound that's been changed without the other effect, which is this feedback. And here, go to this side, is a direct sound. See that? That's a direct sound. That's the actual real sound. This is the direct affected sound. And we can balance the two. We get 2 different sounds going on just for that effect there. This will work. Hear that vocal? Get the little demonic thing going on. Pitch change. Now next we have delay here. We'll go delay. Now I've got delay. I can... Okay, so the first knob, control knob 1. This sets the times it repeats. That's like really a lot of times. I go here to 1. See that? Again. And that's all according to the BPMs preset in our SP404. See that? Now, to control the number of times it repeats, we have the control knob 2. That's 2 times. Oop, just 2 times. So to the right, or to the left here, we have the least amount of repeats. To the right, we'll have more. Once, twice, 3 times, 4. See that? More and more repeats. And they fade evenly. Now here, control knob 3 allows us to have the difference in the balance between the effect and the actual sound without the effect. So, for example, now here, to the right, that affected sound is way up. Now, I turn it to the left, you don't even hear the effect sound no more. So, if you want less of that effect, I'll do it. See, it's in the background already. And it's fading from that position. So this, you can either increase the amount of that effect or lower the amount of the effect. That's how delay works on our SP404. Okay, so sometimes you got this sound, you might say it's too high, too many highs, too many mids, or too many lows. So you may want to change that. And, you know, we're trying to be creative and doing music always. So, for example, we've got, let me use this sound again. As you can hear, this sounds like a little piano roll there. And so there are highs and there are lows. I'll put isolator on. I can extract the lows. Just extract the mids. Nothing's there. See that? Turn my highs up. I only got the highs there. That's all I got left. Add some mids. So we can sort of EQ that sound and give it the flavor we want to use it in. Because sometimes you don't want sounds to cancel each other out. And maybe on the piano you're using, it may have a similar piano sound to it, and you want to change the effect of one of them or change the pitching of that sound. Not pitching, more it's the EQ of the sound. See? It's different. Change the low, this is the mid, and this is the high. And you'll see that in our display right here as you touch either one of the three knobs. So of course, I guess records are ancient now, but they have a vinyl simulator anyway for a DJ, you know. So this first knob gives a flow. See that FLU right there? It's a little flutter. I can hit a record. Say that's compression, like you would hear on a record. Hear it? Watch it. Hear it? I can go here. Less noise. That crackling sound from a record. More compression. Like from a record. So this is our vinyl simulator. So we have compression. Gives you the CMP right here. We have the noise level. And here we have our flow. The rotation. As though it was on a record, or a turntable rather. And here I have MFFX selected. I hold it down, I'm using the first effect, which is the reverb. So I can change the time. So further away, closer. And change the tone of that reverb. Of course, we have the balance between the actual sound and the reverb. And that's one of our MFX effects, which is reverb. Next, MFX, we go to 2. And 2, this is our tape echo. Hear this? That's the rate. That's the intensity. That's the balance between the effect. This is the balance between the effect. That's the regular sample, and this is the effect. Again, just the intensity. INT, and here is our rate. RAT. Rate, intensity, and balance. MFFX 2. Okay, next I'm going to do MFFX 3, but I want to apply that effect to right there. So now I'm going to be here in effects. This is the chorus effect. Now here I have the depth. See, it's like more than one, like a whole bunch of them. Just a few of them. More depth. And now here too we get a rate. A different rate. And here we got a balance. A different balance. So we have a balance here. We've got our rate. And we got our depth. Hear that? So it's like more. So it's a chorus. Sort of flans the sound out. A little thickness to it. And it gives us more depth. We can increase our rate. And that's MFFX number 3. And that's our chorus effect. Okay, next we're going to use effect 4 of our MFFX. And I'll press this and I'll go to 4. And I'll hit my pad. This is duration, and we got resonance. And here we've got the rate. Of course, balance again. The actual sound is to the left. And we can add effect to the right. Adjust the rate, our duration and resonance here. In control knob 1, rate 2, our balance. And we can add a flange effect to that piano. And I can press effects and press 5. Same piano. See that? And this is our phasing effect. We have duration and rate again, and rate, but it's a different effect here. See that? Turn this down. This is the phasing, so it phases it out somewhat, see? And we can turn our rate. The difference between a rate, it's almost like vibrating back and forth. That's what our phase, it's phasing in from one to the other. That's our phase effects, MF effects. Next, I'll press MFS and 6. And next we have here is a tremolo. The depth of the tremolo. And it's going back to the 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's almost vibrating back and forth. It's the rate of the vibration. This, of course, is the panning. See, it's panning here. See, it's almost panning the effect back and forth. And that's our tremolo pan. Now we have MF again. We're going to go back here to 7. And here's this is distortion. Level distortion, tone distortion, and duration distortion. That's raw, right? Very raw. Now we have MF and 8. And here we have our fuzz. And duration, tone again. Ooh, and the level of that effect. MF and 9. And here we have a fuzz. That's a fuzz. Little fuzz to it. Of course, here duration, tone again, and level. So you'll see these last few are almost similar in effect. It's just the setting that they have set for each of the other effects, whether it's going to be heavier or thicker or more other, I guess more of a tinge to that effect compared to the other effect, as you heard with the flange and the phasing. They're almost similar, but a little difference in how each effect works when they're giving more duration, tone, and of course the level of that effect on the sample itself. Now, we can also go here, press this pad and go to 10. It's our wah effect. So why? Sometimes. So wah effect. So here, of course, sustain. And this is our wah frequency here. And here's our resonance to that wah effect. And this is our wah effect. For the rest of the effects, you can check out and see how these controls work. You should check out Experiment and see how those effects work for the sounds, so you can understand how the machine works and how you can use these effects on the specific sounds you want to use them on, meaning your samples, when making up your beats. Okay, now I formatted a compact flash card. I go here and remove this front cover. And I can pull it up, but first I want to cut the machine off. Always make sure your machine is off before you put in your compact flash card or you take it out. Press the button, and here's my compact flash card. Now next, I'm going to take my compact flash card and I want to stick it in here. This is my little compact flash card reader. It's USB. USB cable goes right in there. It's one end. Here's the other end. I want to import some files that I have on my computer. Stick them here in my SP404. Now I've got a set I use for SP404, which are a set that we sell that comes with our kit for this that gives us sounds. We'll do that next. Now once you got your compact flash card, I got my reader right here. I'm going to put it here in my USB port, and next I'll see this come up on my computer, and it appears right there. And once I have it on my computer here, I'm going to open up this file, which is the FUGUEFAT. And on this file, you can see I have some sounds in here already I've dumped in. And notice they all say wave. These are wave files. All wave. Here is the Roland. These are the sounds that are stored in our Roland with our backups. These are the backup of stuff that we backed up to the drive already. SP404. And these are backups here. It's backup 1. As you can see, we got these backups right here. So 404 backup right there. I'll go back out again. And this is what's on here. Now, you can get sounds that are WAV or AIFF files. That's all that the SP404 can read. Now here I've got my Timbo set right down here. And I can select all these sounds. And I'm going to take them and copy them right here. And this is my SP404. These are sounds on my computer. These are all wave sounds from my Timbaland set. I can take these sounds and put them right in there. And now they're copying those sounds, 32 sounds, directly onto that compact flash card. Now this says some may be the same. Don't replace them. If they are, I'm not going to replace these certain sounds. And I'm putting the rest of the sounds directly onto this compact flash card. So make sure your sounds are wave and they're edited down as wave files. So make sure you edit them properly. We use recycle a lot of times to re-edit, so you can get recycle from anywhere. And do that. Now once they're on that compact flash card, we got them right here. That's the card, see? So, I can open up again. Those are the sounds. I can scroll down, and they all say wave. We got our Roland folder on there. That's all we need. So, take this folder, and I've got everything I need in this file. And now I've got everything. Anything I don't need, I just threw in the trash. Oh, that's good. Now, I'll close this. And on a Mac, we usually carry this to the garbage, which is an eject button, and ejects it off the computer. See that? And now, all those sounds are right here on this compact flash card. Next, I want to import these sounds into my SP404. I got my compact flash card right there. I'll take it out, stick it back in here. Before I turn my SP404 and I put my cover on over my compact flash card. Now I'm going to import those files. Before I get ready to load some sounds, I want to delete what's possibly in this machine first. So delete some sounds here. I'm going to go to press delete, and I can press a sound there. See it's lit? I can delete that sound. But I want to delete more than one. Delete that one too. Delete that one too. Now I'll press delete. Now they're all gone. See that? So you can delete more than one sound at one time. Now I got my pads empty. Some sounds I don't want. Sounds I don't want. I got these that came with the SP. I'm going to get rid of these too. And press delete. And those are gone. First thing I'm going to do is probably turn on my SP404. Got my compact flash card in here. I'm getting ready to import these files into the SP404. Now once it's on and we have it set up to go, we're going to make sure that pattern select is not on. We don't need pattern select to be on at all. What we do need to do though, is we got to make sure that the card's in and we're ready to press the right buttons. We'll press cancel and resample. And now it says fill. So I want to find a spot where I can actually record these samples. I'll press record. It says import now. See, it says import. I can import them here. Those are blinking. I'm going to go here in B. Now I want to import these files here in B. So I selected the back to import. I can select right here. Other ones have stopped blinking. So what will happen now is that it's going to import these files right here into pad bank B. I've got more than one file, so I'm going to import the nearest 12 files. It'll be in order, alphabetical order, of course, and I'll just press record. And now it's blinking, it's recording, it's bringing these files in here. It's going to put them on the pads, and we're going to watch it do it. See? So the length of the samples is how long it takes for those samples to get onto these pads. That's a long sample. See that? It's a little longer to go on that pad right there. That said UNS, unsupported file. And that's why we did that, because we have an unsupported file that went right there. Turn this down to. So we imported some files directly from our compact flash card. But if you got a file that's not a WAV file, WAV, .wav, or .wav, or an AIFF file, .aiff, or AIF file, the SP404 doesn't support that. If it doesn't, it stops importing that file. So it's important when putting files in your compact flash card that they are WAV or AIFF. Well, let's say you want to let's say you want to export a file. So let me turn this machine off first of all. And now I'm going to hold down resample. I'm going to turn it back on. And we're going to set it up so we can actually export files here. Now here we are. This says WAV. So I'll press this again. That says AIF, which means AIFF. Or I can go to WAV. So this is setting up the type of export that I want to do to the audio file I'm going to export out. So make sure you know what you're doing. So this way, it's either WAV or AIFF. WAV or AIFF. Now, once I select that, I'll press resample again, and I'm good to go. Now I'll start to export my file out. Okay, now I'm ready to export the file. I'm going to make sure my pattern select button is not lit. Then I want to hold down cancel and resample. Now it says fill. Now, once the file, which means fill, is there, I'll press resample. And now I'm ready to export. Now I'll select my export source. So I want to export that file right there. Now, got the bank, export file, and I want to export that back to the card. Now if I want to do this, I can press record. Now see it's blinking? It's exporting that file back to the card. Now that file has been exported to our compact flash card. That's how we can export sounds that we have on our SP404. Let's say you got a bank of sounds on your machine, you want to save them onto the card and put them on the computer or something. We can export these files, put them on the computer, give them to someone using their software, or they can use it in Pro Tools or whatever, so you can export the sounds you want to export out to them without having to play it back from the SP404 into their system.